A Cold War era young timer arrives on BeamNG, introducing the Shenta XL, a mod inspired by the ŠKODA Favorite, a car produced from 1987 to 1995. It was one of the last automotive designs developed during the Soviet era and one of the most modern, at least by those standards. The aesthetic design was the work of the Italian studio Bertone, while mechanically it marked the departure from the old rear-engine rear-wheel drive setup for a more modern front-wheel drive front-engine layout. This is the first real mod from modder Just Robertov, who until now had only worked on tuning the game's vanilla cars. The car is based on the first generation Ibishu Pessima, but has been deeply modified aesthetically, so much that it is very similar to the original Favorite, and especially in terms of driving sensations. The modder, whom I thank for providing me with an exclusive version very close to the final one that will be available on the repo, told me that some Favorite owners who drove it found it even too realistic. In today's test, we are driving the Perfect, the top-of-the-line estate model, powered with some effort by a 1.3-liter Ibishu engine producing just 65 horsepower. Transmission is a 5-speed manual, perhaps a bit too many gears, as we will see. Let's see how this XL drives. As was often the case with Soviet-era cars, this one is definitely underpowered. It weighs almost 1.3 tons, so the 65 horsepower really struggled to move it. The 5 gears, as mentioned, are perhaps a bit too many. You will hardly go beyond the third gear, especially since the second gear ratio is already very long, and the car already loses acceleration. This is, after all, the original setup of the ŠKODA Favorite, so it's very likely that this is exactly what you will experience behind the wheel of one of these cars. If you want to drive with some sprint, you need to always stay above 4000 RPM between second and third gear. Fourth gear is only for highway speeds. Fifth is actually useless. However, once the car has been slowly brought up to an enjoyable speed, it's not bad to drive. Road holding and stability are okay. The XL obviously understeers, but with little horsepower it's very unlikely to cause any problems. In sudden maneuvers, control is good and the brakes, despite the lack of ABS, perform well. The brakes only lock up if you press the pedal all the way down, and even with the wheels locked, it still handles pretty well. Off-road, the XL remains safe and the chassis is able to manage the most aggressive shocks. On the highway, if you are not killed by BeamNG's junky AI, you can reach almost 160 km/h, with the thrill of putting it into 5th gear. Once you have reached a usable level of torque, you can definitely have fun with this lore-friendly ŠKODA. More powerful engines are also available. There is also a diesel, as well as swaps for 5 and 6 cylinder units. As you know, with BeamNG, the only real limits are your imagination and your will to experiment. The mod includes all the body styles available on the original Favorite, including the 5-door hatchback, 4-door sedan, pickup truck and other configurations. As I mentioned, this version of the mod was provided exclusively by Just Robertov for the video. The final version will be available soon for free on the BeamNG repo. If you would like to support the modder's great work, you can purchase the mod in early access on Patreon or Ko-fi. You can find the links in the description. I really enjoyed this Shenta XL. I had fun driving it, and I hope you will want to do it too. If you haven't already, follow RevMatch videos for new videos on driving games and simulators. See you soon!